All right, so move this over here. So now I want to do a wall detection. And I think if it's going to climb the wall, then it just stops moving over and then goes up. So let's give that a shot here. The Xenomorph has its own let's close some of these down. Xenomorph has its own area check, I believe. Yeah, enemy area check. I don't see that out here. Okay, so I'll move this over here somewhere. So right now I'm checking if it's grounded, if the spot above ground that's supposed to be above ground, front collision, a front hole. So this is the one I think I want to go with. Let's see. If it's going left, go right. If jumping is false, then it's doing this. So if grounded is false, this is for the Y velocity. X velocity here. If area check dot, and what did I just say it was? I probably copied it. Is front collision is true, then we're going to say velocity.x equals 0. So we'll stop him from moving. Stop him from moving left. So that should at least prevent him from going like diagonal through the wall. I still imagine once he gets to a certain point, he'll start moving forward again. So go here, start a single player, and then we'll just jump right back here to the scene to watch him go. Ooh. So yeah, so it was the foot in the ground when he got to this point that made him go up. So maybe we'll take this opportunity to switch. Like maybe we'll go, if the player is still over here, left of the Xenomorph, then try and climb. X is 0, and then we'll have a climbing variable as well. So I had is jumping. Maybe I need an enum here for the action that it's doing. And maybe I need to break this out. Let's do that. So like private action current action, and then in start we're gonna have to assign the default action. So here we'll go private void default action, and that's just movement, right? And then private void climbing. Let's call it climbing action. Like that. And then we don't have to do like this if is jumping or anything like that. So we'll patch it up here. Current action equals default action. If desired direction is 0, this changes it. So I won't change the direction when I'm climbing, only in default. So really, let's do this. Let's take all of that and put it in default. And then here we'll call current action. And because I handle it like a method, I'm going to change this to uppercase, start with an uppercase letter. So we don't need that. This we will need, because this would be a transition. Transition, T-R-A-N-S-I-T, transition into climbing. And maybe I don't do anything right this moment. I just change the action. So current action equals climbing action. And then here, I continue doing the check. And this would probably have a logic to turn around. I can change that now. If, is it just called target character? Transform dot position dot x is less than our transform position, then we're still heading in the right direction. So we'll try and climb. Else, maybe turn around. Direction equals -1. Ooh, what if I say direction equals 0? Then the direction will reset to whatever this logic does. Zero. So we'll say setting direction to 0 will recheck the logic and set the alien on the right course. What do I say? Set us on the right course. Climbing. If area check is front collision. Oops. This is called lowercase a. Yep. Is front collision is true. Still climbing. I think there's going to be a slight or. How about an or? I don't think I have a position. I'm not checking ahead and down at the feet level, except for when I'm checking for a hole, but that's lower than a feet level. So we'll call it a toe. In the enemy area check. So where is the wall check? Oh, there's upper and lower ladders too. I forgot about that. Is front collision. Oh, right here. Is front hole. Let's put it here. Public boolean is toe collision. And then that'll be very similar to the front, but also very similar to the hole collision. And it's a shame I recycled that variable. Check position equals vector2 transform dot position plus a new vector2 front check offset x times, and I might pull that in just a little bit. Check direction. And then is it ground offset? Dot y. And then is toe collision equals physics 2D overlap point check position ground layer. I'm going to break this like that. So if this is front collision is true or area check dot toe collision, then I'm up against the wall. And then I'm going to say I have velocity there, and then in default action I don't appear to be resetting velocity. I am just setting it. not like setting it to 0 at first. So velocity dot x is 0, and then velocity dot y is something, and this was if the toe was underground, then I would change the velocity dot y by moving it up. But I'm going to make this go faster by multiplying it by 2, I think. So that's if you're still climbing. If we're out of the hole, go back to the default action. And so here's just an else. And we're going to say the current action is default action. Okay, that's a lot of assumptions without a test. So let's see where we're at now. So I see he's not putting his feet into the ground, which is, oh no, what the heck was that? So I think what the problem is he's not really stopping at that point where, and then he's like, oh, I guess I don't have to keep stopping and going. I forgot I could kill. What button was it? To terminate the current. Is it that one? No. I guess I have to be in game to do that. Okay. He goes down here and he kind of jumps out. So oops. He kind of needs to detect where this is. In order to know when to stop. So do I do a cast down? From the head to the toe to find this? First of all, let's pull that in a little bit, I think. That's going to be in the inspector, I believe. Front check, yes, however, like 0.5. let's make it 0.4. Try that. It shouldn't change the fact that he launches out of the hole, but oops. Did that even make a difference for the collision? Three. I'm wondering if you should fall straight down when he's falling, because that's the default action, is just go left. Oh yeah, he turned around. What's he colliding with though here that's making him go back and forth? Surely he's not colliding on the person. What was that all about? So he goes off to the side, and he comes back, and he just keeps going until he collides with that ladder. So, what do we think causes that? It's a default action. Let's watch the area check and see what's going on. Does this cause him to turn around when he collides with me here? Only when he's going the other way? Why would that be? Do I have this is the only directional check. If direction equals 0. That changes the velocity. But if direction is 0, then direction is the desired direction, whatever we found up here to be true. But he should still fall. Okay, so this is his area check. And his grounded is right here. This is, so he's left and he's still grounded. So what does the ground check? Ground layer solids, just solids. The background is not solids, it's default. Solids is solids. Platforms is not. Camera border, of course. Ladders is not. So when he's in midair, if I uncheck is grounded and he starts falling, that means I'm not checking it as often as I think I am. Let's go over here and move. Yeah, oh gosh. So is grounded not being rechecked? Transform position plus ground check offset. That's front check. That's the one I changed, not ground check. Oh, and overlap circle is what I'm doing. This might be a good time to turn that into an overlap point. That would almost mean that the alien is the alien a solid? Sure, no. But it's almost like it's detecting its own feet and saying that, yes, it's detected something, so therefore it's grounded. All right, this probably broke something. No? Okay, cool. What is your problem, bro? Oh. So, ground check offset is probably got to go down. Or other way. And he took off running. So I gotta cast, right? I gotta do a ray cast down and make sure that I'm not going down far enough that I'm going through. I wonder if I should also maybe try to use the capsule collider. To detect collisions as well. That's something that'd be worth experimenting with. Or I add a rigid body. And forget the climbing on the ceilings. Or when I do go into climbing on the ceilings mode, I disable the rigid body. Or I change the gravity scale. Right? Because there's a capsule collider, and then rigid body has okay, gravity scale just for up and down, but not left and right. I thought I saw somewhere where its gravity could be in any direction as well. So let's do that. I hate to do this, but I'm going to... I never did figure out this though. Why did this circle one? Let's do that. Hold on real quick. The circle radius is 0.05. So I'm going to subtract 0.05 from the ground check. So that turns this into 43. Right, let's see what that does. I kind of want him just to stop bouncing. Oh, he's got a rigid body now, so he's gonna... And you can't disable it, you have to remove it, which is kind of silly. I wish you were able to just remove it. It's kind of level there. Oof. Yeah, and that's going to start that springing. Okay, so we'll put the rigid body back on. And then we will use the velocity of the rigid body instead of doing the transform position. I'm in the wrong script. Okay. This here, I'm going to say, let's get the rigid body into a variable. Private rigid body to be D rigid body. And then rigid body equals get component. Yep. And then here we can say rigid body dot linear velocity equals velocity. Let's see, he's going to fall because his collider is a trigger. Oh, it's just disabled. And I'm going to freeze the rotation. I don't know. I kind of think that can I move this? No. If I add a capsule collider here and not here, does the rigid body still work? Because what I'm thinking of doing is something like that. Oops. That's if this even works. Like this. Maybe down a little bit more. Let's see if it complains. Oh, if I flip it though, I need to flip this. Let's make sure it's gonna at least be happy with having it on like that. Okay, so he is falling. So that's a no. I suppose. That's sad. So we'll enable that. And that's as good as it's going to get. Maybe I'll just use a circle collider. It does need to be centered. Sorry. Whatever I do to this, the offset X has to be just straight up 0. Y doesn't matter. So maybe I'll make it a little bit wider. Doing another thing where I can't see chat on my stream, but I can see it over here. My loud keyboard. Fixed update maybe. I mean, it's kind of neat though, lol. How can it collide with a player, with a ladder or player though, if they're not solid? I don't know. I don't know what gave it that, why it's turning around. But welcome if you're still here and haven't left. What? Don't tell me he fell. What? That's on. It's not a trigger. Oh. Let's make him an alien. So that maybe the aliens can collide with solids. Still here. Negative gravity. Yeah, I think I'm going to turn negative gravity on when I want him to like jump onto the ceiling. I don't know how that's going to work yet. No idea. Yeah, see, gravity default didn't collide with solids. Aliens. Aliens do collide with solids. So we'll check that. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have to like start just casting rays in all sorts of different directions to get this to work the way I want it to. Oh, jeez. You come roaring out. That's funny. Let's put this over here, maybe. I want to be able to hit the start button, but then I want to be able to see what's going on. So maybe put this down in here. I can't zoom out, which is sad. Okay, it's doing a little bit of a bouncing, which I don't want, but yeah, that's kind of cool. Maybe not ×4 though. And I don't need to do the thing that keeps him above the ground anymore, now that I have a solid capsule on him. So this was, oh, climbing action was ×2. Let's do like 1.5 there, and then we don't need to do this weird, if it's grounded is false, velocity.y. We don't need to do any of this, I think. Like, we'll let the gravity take care of it. I listened to some of my past streams and noticed that my voice was really low. I'm like far away sounding. So I upped the gain, and I understand that kind of makes my keyboard a little bit louder. Oh, what? So the collision here isn't going to happen. What the heck is that? I'm climbing or something, and so that means that it's doing these false positives. I can change that to late update. Do they only work correctly after a late update? I wonder. Like when the physics is updated, and that's how it's able to do a check. Also, oh, never mind. The Xenomorph, of course, would be spawned. Notice how he's stuck. It is. Like he gets here and he stays there and I don't do anything except for select him and then he'll start moving. That's weird. So also, yeah, I would really need to set his gravity to the wall and then make him go up the wall, because right now what I'm doing is setting the velocity of the Y, but it's not enough to make him get out of the hole. And I thought I could do that. In Unity 2D, for a single object, can I... That's not what I want. Let's go here. Can I set the gravity X offset? You cannot set direct gravity X offset for a single object. The global physics 2D gravity vector applies uniformly across all 2D rigid body 2D components. Constant force. Constant force 2D component. Is that a thing? Because I know it turned gravity off, right? Ooh, check that out. Let's move this up here. Very nice. So let's take gravity and change that to 0. And take force and make it 1 and see what happens. Wrong way, apparently. -1. I did not know about that either. I just now discovered it. Okay. Oh. However, bro. Did you see that? Do I have a collider somewhere? He literally moved. Oh, well, that's the alien, or the. Let me go back to that. I think when he come up and started pushing the player. Oh, yeah, because the camera would have followed the player. Never mind. I can't turn on gizmos. Aren't gizmos on? Ish. So I would have to set the velocity manually and then let physics take and do what it needs to. I think what I'm going to need to do is get a list of contact points, and then instead of using my area check, examine those contact points. To determine what I need to do next. But real quick, I have the rigid body, which I might not need anymore, but private constant force 2D, constant force, and we'll get that constant force. And then what is the constant? Is it constant force dot force? Constant force dot force. What did he do? Did he go straight left and avoid the hole, or did he just not move at all? I need to move all these buttons over here. Let me do that real quick. Network menu, canvas. Why do I have a second canvas? What was that for? Don't know. Start stop server. That is aligned to the left. Where's my box at? Okay. So this will be like here. Start client. I never do the start player or start server. I either do start client or start player. Start player starts the server. Yeah, but now it's over here, so I can go like this. He did move. Oh, so do you think if there's a 0 on the constant force, it doesn't override the velocity, but if there is, but that was -1 and that didn't make him fall. Force to apply locally each physics update. Force to apply globally each physics update. What is that all about? Nothing else seemed to be affected by it. Set the force XY values to a custom acceleration you want. For example, a force of negative 9.810 will apply gravity in the X direction. Manually apply custom force. Yeah. Let's see what this does. Because I'm confused as to what relative force and just regular force does. Am I setting the Y velocity? Probably here when I'm climbing. Let's see, hold on. So in default actions, the default velocity velocity equals a new vector 3 0. So I'm going to use like what is the default gravity scale, or gravity, I guess. Over here. So that's default. And then when I'm climbing, velocity Y can be something else. Okay. $9.1. Oh, there's an error. Host is shutting down to network transport start failure. Too much gravity for the network. Well, doesn't that suck? server failed to bind. This is usually caused by another process being bound to the same port. Yeah, okay, so how do I free up that port? So let's see. Unity networking. Free. How am I going to say this? Unlock a port. Primarily involves configuring your network and system settings, as Unity itself does not directly unlock ports in the way. No, I know, but Google the error. I guess my single player should just be strictly single player, not network based. Try restarting the system. Oh, I'm not going to tell my players to restart their system. I was starting the host on all the players. That was the problem. Thanks for the help. What? Try restarting the system. Starting the host on all the players. Right, no. I realized that I had forgotten to switch the platform to Windows. After Unity hangs, I usually kill it with xkill. Blah, blah, blah. Do you use any custom way to start ADB service? Is there one still running? No. I'm only running one instance of Unity as well. Like, I don't have any of my clones running. But I assume that, yeah, like, and I don't know how to tell with the task manager. Oh, I go to Jim. Oh, there we go. Is this it? Let me save Unity before I just saved. Okay. Oh, I cleared the whole thing. Do I want to restore from a backup? I did save. I'm picking no. Let's see how far back that set me. You guys tried to end Unity and ended OBS instead. That's sad. That would have been harsh. No. Now, it would be really cool if I could rotate all of my physics checks with the gravity. So when I'm checking in front of him, if gravity is to the left, it would actually be checking like up. And so if I try to jump, he could clear an obstacle above him. Okay, so let's check out this guy. Okay, so I'm still back to where I was. Relative force though here is, I'm gonna just leave that 0. Okay, so I need to check, get my cursor back, the xenomorph here. Constant force is still 0s when it should be setting the negative here. So let's do this. Let's not transition into climbing yet. Oh, also, a velocity of 1 probably isn't enough. If gravity is like a negative number, a big negative number like 9. Do I have speed yet? I do. And I'm not currently using it, so I'm going to set that to 10. And then, oops, an update. Nope, okay, fine. Velocity. Do I want to do that here? Yeah. Times move speed. Here times move speed. I tell you what, like knowing that there's this constant force that I can set the 2D gravity of like any object has my brain like, oh, that'd be really cool. I can make a game like this or this. It's like focus. So did you end your stream like when you killed OBS where you're just like, all right, well, I guess I'm done? Or did you get back on? So interesting. Also, that's crappy. It's not fast at all. What is that? I have no gravity. You started it back up. I don't understand why he's falling into the hole when the rigid body gravity scale is 0. I bet you that's for tires or thrusters or something to try and push whatever. It's very jerky though. Oh, but now that I have a rigid body, maybe I need to set the no, interpolate. Do I have to set the effector? Used by effector. This collider will not function with an effector until at least one enabled 2D effector. Okay, so that's not an effector. So I don't know what it's doing wrong. Do I not have a... How about I save this? If you don't get to stream, disconnect like you would if you actually lost connection though. You don't get to stream disconnect like you would if you actually lost connection. What's the difference? Yeah, so there's no number going on here. And I bet move speed is 1. Oh god, ooh. He moved. Very fast. That's scary. Let's go like 3. That was kind of dumb of me to think that was going to change anything. It's almost like I'm not seeing the change in the inspector. Here. Sad. Why does he like... Is not moving now. Oh, that's because I didn't change. Yeah, I did. I changed move speed to 3. I figured that would at least go somewhere. It's kind of like I have to break the friction, but I don't want to go super fast that once I do. Okay, so he moved left and he fell. However, see how I don't see that in the constant force? Is that because I'm setting the velocity still instead of the force? It is. And so I'm wondering if I set relative force to be like the direction that I want him to travel in, I wonder if and then the regular force could just be the gravity. Like, will those two operate together? Okay. It's very... like an acceleration, which is weird. So what's relative force do? It's kind of the same thing, huh? And it's not like I'm adding to it. I'm just setting it exactly. Okay, so I am going to try this though. I'm going to do constant force. Oops. Constant force dot force is this. This is going to be default gravity. Oops. And then I'm going to say velocity equals vector 3, 0. And then this is going to be the relative force. So gravity is always going to point down. And then I'm going to have an X on the relative velocity, hopefully pushing it in another and pushing it left. Because what I'm thinking then is, if I'm climbing a wall, I will have the force push towards the wall, and then the relative force push like up. What is that error? It's not within my control. It's sad though that it's like it's building up speed instead of going at like right then and there. And I don't know how to fix that. I think I can go with discrete. Maybe it's interpolate? I doubt it. I just thought that was like in between physics frames. Oh, see, still kind of ramps up speed. Let's take this spawner, move it over this way a little bit. Give him a little bit more of a runway. Does info tell me? Yeah, here we go. Linear velocity. I wonder if this will change. Yeah, see how it's moving up? Like it's not instantaneous. I could set it in. I could set the rigid body. Velocity to that number. And then have a, yeah, so basically I'm thinking not using the force. Use the force, Luke. Remove the force. And just creating it myself. Like when I reset velocity here, and I don't do that, then I add to the velocity X. Oh, I set it. I don't add to it. And that should be an instantaneous go left. Oh, I have to set it back though. Here, not transformed up position, but the rigid body linear velocity equals that. There might have been some kind of method though on the force to set the force instead of using the variable, and maybe that's what did it as well. He got stuck. What's his damage? I guess trying. Normal impulse. Why is there 2 contact points? Well, bro. Oh. If I'm constantly setting the velocity down myself, apparently digs them into the ground. So can I control Z to give me back the force? I'll just add it again. Xenomorph.constant force hides inherited member component constant force. No, it doesn't, but okay. Are they trying to say that there's a... Yeah, okay, whatever. So I think I'm setting gravity, and then I'm setting a relative force to the velocity. So are there methods though? Let's see. Constant force. What do I have? Torque. Get components. Nope. Okay. So I guess as long as I'm not... As long as I'm not only applying the change during physics updates, like as long as I'm constantly applying force through all frames. Oh, he can't run uphill? So if I have to change his friction, Let's create a new physics material. And I'm going to make this alien. Which one's which? Use the calculated tensor or set it directly. Resistance to sliding motion. Okay, that's 0. And the static, I think, just slows you down over time. Oops. Scroll it down. And I'm going to put this in the material. Did I make a... Yep. (2D) physics material 2D. Whoop. Alien. Friction 0. I'll leave that as is for now. Oops. Alien. Then go back to my settings folder. Give that. There. And I assume, though, that would make him go faster. Bye-bye. Okay. Which means I just turn his speed down just a little bit. Enemies. Oops. In the prefabs. Back to where I thought it should be. Sheesh. Still clears it. Which, yeah. I think in this situation, I would kind of give him a little bit of a bump to make it look like he's jumping. If there was nothing here. So I need to go through all the contact points. Just to see what they look like, so I can determine where the alien is actually touching. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of most of the code here, I think. And make this all contacts based. And maybe have an array. I don't know how I want to translate the information back to the Xenomorph script yet. Instead of having like all of these ridiculous checks. Okay. Which is the front one? This one here, toe collision. Let's go just with